Welcome one, welcome all. Episode 46 of the Casey and Tyler Show. Fun show for you guys today. It's Masters Week. Probably going to spend quite a bit talking about that. I love Masters Week. I feel like I say this about every golf tournament. It's one of my favorite golf tournaments of the year. Tiger's back. Tiger's playing. I just actually, before we recorded and I was finishing up the show sheet, listened to his presser from Augusta today. Some interesting tidbits there to talk about. Obviously, we got to talk about the Final Four finished up yesterday evening. So we'll get into that. And then, not to come off the wrong way, but I would never thought we'd be talking about women's college basketball on this show. And there is a lot to get to regarding that. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just they don't get the same pub. I mean, they deserve more publicity, obviously, but they don't get the same pub as the men's tournament does. But I thought, I made a point to watch that title game this week. So I think that's good for the game. I mean, I'm glad that they got all the attention that they deserve and everything like that. So we'll talk about that. And then obviously we have some fun things to do for Masters Week. And then obviously we'll talk a little bit about baseball. Casey's been locked in on the Red Sox. He has the ability to watch them almost every evening, and I do not. So he gives me updates.
Because I can't watch them against the fucking Tigers because I live in fucking Michigan and the Tigers play in fucking Michigan.
Yeah, which we talked about that last show. But I still like we'll have them up on my computer, like the box score app. So I'm still pretty in touch, but it's the same thing every night with them. Offense looks great. They let up 10 runs. They don't win the game.
30 runs a fucking game.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the outline of the show. As always, Casey, anything you'd like to say before we get going?
You want to know what's fucked up?
What's that?
I do got something to say.
Wow, this is rare.
It's not sports related. It's about the fucking podcast. So every time the CEO introduces me to someone new, he says, he runs a podcast, right? And just to the most random fucking person. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, it's a sports podcast. He says, truthfully, only reason why Casey's on it is because of his laugh. He says he has his buddy Tyler that sits there and talks all the time, and Casey just sits there and laughs.
I mean, that's halfway accurate.
Yeah, no, it's not. Go fuck yourself.
Well, I will say I'll call Casey sometimes and he'll answer and be like, "This is Casey, host of the Casey and Tyler Show, currently looking for a new co-host." And I'm like, that bit's as old as time. But all right, let's hop right in.
It's like the me calling Izzy fat.
Cut to the intro right now. All right, Casey, let's start off here with the women's final or the championship game recap. LSU, just an outstanding performance. I mean, they score 102 points to beat Iowa 102 to 85. I think 102 points is the most ever scored in a women's championship game. Just a great game. I mean, Caitlin Clark, I think the darling of America, right? Like everyone was rooting for Caitlin Clark in Iowa to get it done. Sunday's night's game between Iowa and Louisville brought in nearly 2.5 million viewers, higher number than every NBA game on ESPN this year. I saw another thing. I wish I couldn't find it on my phone, but it's
mean Iowa and LSU?
Yeah, who would I say?
Louisville.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Iowa. Oh, well, that's what this says, but it's supposed to say LSU.
Unless when they played Louisville, was it on a Sunday night?
Oh, maybe that's what this is from. So the numbers for the championship were probably even bigger. I forgot they did play Louisville. That's
because they had the one chick from Louisville's good. Haley.
Yeah, she's cold. Yeah. Okay, so that was probably inaccurate. So when Iowa played Louisville, it brought in more than any NBA game. And then I'm sure the championship. I saw the championship game had more views than any Stanley Cup game ever, that's crazy town. So a lot of people tuned in on Sunday or I think it was Saturday they played, right? The
So they played
championship.
Sunday.
Sunday at 3. That's
Sunday
correct.
at
Yep.
3 or
Yep.
4.
So just you know, hats off to LSU. I mean, freaking they were making everything.
Oh, that
Everything.
one chick that came off the bench didn't miss a shot.
Didn't miss a shot.
He was just throwing shit up and making it.
Kim Mulkey secures her 3rd national title ever as a coach, brings
What
LSU.
she wears on the sideline
I hate
is crazy. I mean, the championship game, she wasn't that bad. I mean,
yeah, but some of it's like, look at me. It's like it's not about you. It's about the kids.
I agree.
But I also think it's part of her buying into like the culture in Louisiana, which is like a little bit of flair and all that.
I mean, the one thing I do like about it is she's being herself. And if that's what she wears,
it's just a little bit like gaudy to me. But like,
no, I agree. I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Personally, I don't like it, especially when she wore it the Final Four, that little pink, that pink shit.
That was
like a fucking flamingo.
Yeah, yeah. I will say it does feel like it fits the like the identity of her team. She kind of spoke after the game that there's a lot of personalities on that team, and some coaches would shy away from that, and she kind of brought into it. I did think this is like the tale of 2 different locker rooms. Before the game, Iowa was singing High School Musical songs together, and LSU was bumping out to some like Future. Like it was just 2 different identities, right? Like which I thought that was great, seeing like the LSU girls before the game and whatnot just go like literally hyped up. Like they were there to take care of business, and they did. I watched the press conference with Caitlin Clark after the game. I found it on YouTube, and I will say it was emotional. I mean, like, and I had a vested interest. Caitlin Clark, since like last year when she was like hitting logo threes against Michigan's women's team, I was like, who is this chick? Right. Like unbelievable. She'll be back next year, so maybe they'll make another run. But this just a good game. I mean, like I said, I was rooting for Iowa, but it was a hard like 5 minutes in the game. I was like, LSU's better team. Like they just 100%. They were just so good. So shout out to LSU.
What's her name? Caitlin Clark got in the foul trouble, and that just.
Well, I think it was the worst officiated basketball game I've ever watched. I mean, I had a thing up here. I wonder if I still have it open. It was the most fouls ever called in a women's game, like ever. And like for them to call the technical on her when she's throwing the ball back underneath the basket was so ticky tacky. That gave her number 4, and now she can't really drive the lane as much. She's just. And then she even said after the game, like some of the threes I took, she goes, "You're just trying to get back into it. Like you're running out of time." So LSU gets their first ever national title. I'm sure they're going to celebrate down there.
Men and women basketball.
Oh, I was going to say they have one in football, but yeah. First ever basketball title.
Ever basketball title.
It feels like Kim Mulkey is known as like one of the greatest women's college coaches, or just general college coaches of all time.
Yeah, they were comparing her. I saw a graphic of something. It was her, that Gino guy.
Well, he's got 11. He's like Belichick and Saban.
He's good.
Like,
Him and then the Pat, whatever her name is, Tennessee.
From Tennessee. Yep. And I think she's retired now.
She retired.
Sure. Yeah.
She retired a while ago.
Yep. So yeah, like she's got 3, and I think that puts her like second or third most of all time. So
yeah, I think it's third.
Shout out to them. Like I said, it was a great. I mean, I won't say a great game because obviously LSU ran away with it, but I still enjoyed watching it. And again, like there was, even because Iowa has such like a firepower of an offense, even when they got down like quite a bit, I was like, it's not over yet, because like Caitlin Clark can score 12 points in 30 seconds, like just like that. So I thought it, like, again, I think it was great for the sport that many people were invested, because I think when you build up these storylines, whether it's Caitlin Clark or like you said, Kim Mulkey and LSU and Angel Reese, like people now know who these individuals are, and it creates like a rooting interest or just like a curiosity.
Yeah.
I will say I thought the Angel Reese taunting Caitlin Clark was obnoxious. I don't want to use the word classless, but I do think it was obnoxious. Everyone wants to compare it to Caitlin. Caitlin Clark did it after she made a shot, and it was over. If you blinked, you missed it. her following her around after your team just won a national title, I didn't like that. I thought it was obnoxious, but hey, it is what it is. Caitlin Clark didn't seem fazed by it whatsoever. She actually came out today and was like, people need to quit giving her shit. Like, she won it, she deserved
shit talking.
it.
It's
It
shit
is
talking.
what it is. I just thought I thought it was a little obnoxious. Like, go
No,
celebrate
I mean,
with your team. Don't
I
follow her around the
yeah.
court.
I feel like the following her around was a little too much, but at the end of the day,
I don't mind the shit talking whatsoever. You want to do this and do this, that's fine, but don't like follow her around. Like, get in the handshake line. Let's go. It's a team sport, right? But
Yeah.
I will say this is a legendary celebration. Ring me, bitch. Like that was cold. So like I said, it was cool to watch that. Gave me something to watch on Sunday because the Valspar wasn't, or the Valero tournament didn't really provide a lot of fireworks in golf this weekend. So all right, let's move on. Final four recap. Casey, SDSU, San Diego State beats FAU with the last second buzzer beater.
Phenomenal game.
It was a great game. I think San Diego State overcame like a 14-point halftime deficit. Just crazy. I was rooting for FAU. They're a 9 seed. I thought it would be cool to see what in the national title game. But yeah, just, you know, it's one of those things where, and I think Dave Portnoy tweeted about this, for FAU in their last possession, I feel like they should have held it to the last second, launched like a deep three. There would have been chaos with like a long rebound, and the game probably would have been over. So I don't know. That seems like hindsight 2020, but and then SDSU didn't use their last timeout and just goes down and drains it. I guess their coach afterwards, when they asked why you didn't take a timeout, he goes, "I was out of plays." He goes, he was like, I had nothing to give him. So it was just kind of like,
so, have fun, boys. But
no,
dude, like, almost stepped out of bounds.
He did almost step out of bounds, but I thought that was so like candid and honest, where he was like, I would have called timeout and be like, "Good luck, boys." Like, I don't have,
what am I supposed
nothing to drop.
It'd be like, "Good luck, fellas," and let the other team prepare. Fuck that.
yeah. He's like, go down, make the shot. Crazy, just like ice in your vein. Like, you know, and some local reporters around here kind of tweeted, like, talked about it, where like, you don't need blue bloods to have like a great game, right? Because like that buzzer beater was still, I was with the girlfriend, we were running errands, and like I was like, you're driving, I'm watching, because I had it up on my phone, and I'm sitting, we're in the TJ Maxx parking lot. She's like looking for shoes for all these weddings we have to go to, and he hits it, and I'm just like, oh, that's nuts, because like anytime there's a buzz beater, it was crazy. And then like you feel bad after you, like, just so dejected after that, right? Like, you play such a great game for 40 minutes or whatever it is, and when it comes on to the last second shot, you play good defense and you cross your fingers, right? And that thing was nothing but net. So yeah, SDSU advanced with that win to the title game, and then UConn just routs Miami. 72-59. That score is even closer than it was. Like, it was never really that close. UConn was just far and away the better team on the court. That's your team. You called them from the beginning, right? You got your $100 gas gift card.
Supposedly. Did you get my text?
No,
look at my text. It's kind of bullshit, but it is what it is. I don't think I'm getting it. It's the screenshot.
Yeah, what? It's
kind of horse shit, but it is what it is at the end of the day. And I'm not planning on seeing them until May. So most likely it's going to be quote unquote forgotten about. So I'm not going to bring it up. I'm not that guy. So yes, right. I want a $100 gas card.
Oh, cool. Nice. UConn, I feel like I want to pull this up real quick because I was talking about with my dad. Let me pull this up. I'm pretty sure they beat every team they played by double digits.
They did.
Yeah.
Every team they played was by double digits.
Like, they blew out everybody. I got it right here. They beat Ionia 87-63. They beat St. Mary's 70-55. They beat Gonzaga 82-54. Then they beat Miami 72-59. Then they beat, and we'll get into this, like, they obviously UConn national champions. They beat San Diego State 76-59. They were easily the best team in this tournament. I mean, it's not even really all that close.
No, not even at all. Yeah.
Their coach, crazy guy.
And they might be returning everyone.
Yeah, I did see that after the game, but you also got to realize that's kind of recency bias in the moment. If some of these guys get like, hey, you're going to go in the first round, they're probably gone, right? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, so his brother is the coach at Arizona State. Yeah. So Hurley, great coach.
I love Hurley.
UConn, did you see the clips of those students on campus?
No.
They were flipping cars.
Oh yeah. I didn't know that was UConn, dude.
They were breaking into buildings like with like they had like a fucking barricade. They were blasting doors in. Guys, this is your 5th in 25 years. You got to act like you've been there before.
They won in the last 4 decades.
Yeah.
90s, I mean, just 20s, 10s, and now 20s.
Yeah. 2000s.
2000s. Well, yeah. 2000s, 10s, 20s, and 90s.
Yeah. They, and it's funny because it's so bizarre. It's like whenever they're in it, they win it, and then they just don't make the tournament the other years. It's so bizarre. Like, it's not like,
they're like the Giants. Giants make the playoffs, and they usually
win the Super Bowl. Yeah, they're winning the Super Bowl. Yeah. So yeah, I still enjoyed last night's title game. I mean, San Diego State did cut it to like 6 with like 7 and change left. So like they were in it, but UConn just
what did it was going on that 12-minute scoring drought in the first half.
Dude,
UConn went on that 30-10 run.
They could not buy a basket. I mean, I was texting you and guys in the group conf. I was like, they better come out swinging, or else I'm putting a movie on, because it was getting ugly. I mean, they led the first like 6 minutes, and then like you said, I mean, there was a point they didn't make their first layup until like 10 minutes left in the second half.
Yep.
Everything was a jump shot, a 3, or free throws. I mean, they could not get into the basket. UConn's 2 big guys, the guy that won Final Four best player, and then that tall center they have, was just like, they were such good at protecting the rim. I mean, San Diego State looked lost offensively. And again, it goes down to basketball's a game of runs. When you're UConn and you have that much momentum, I mean, I don't know if San Diego State on their best day was going to beat UConn. I thought it was really cool with like, I want to say like around 3-ish minutes left, maybe a little bit less than that. Hurley calls a timeout and he tells his team, if we don't turn the ball over, we're national champions. Doesn't matter what else happens. If we don't turn the ball over, we're national champions. And by God, are they. So yeah, basketball season's done. Great March. First couple rounds were fun, and I think, this is why you need.
Do you think that all these upsets in the tournament ruined the tournament later on?
I do, because it was pretty boring after the first weekend.
Why? Just was. Because of blowout, the games are just not.
And there's no like reason to. I mean, there was one McDonald's All-American in the Elite Eight, none in the Final Four. Granted, if the game was closer last night, I might say something different, but I do think having no really like good teams in like the.
I mean, but honestly, I think UConn would have beat this shit. Let's look at the 1 seeds on the other side. Let's look at Bama. I think UConn would have fucking smoked Bama.
I don't think they would have smoked Bama. I think it would have been a better game. They would have beat Purdue. I think.
They wouldn't have beat Purdue. They would have like embarrassed Purdue enough to where they probably would have thought about going to Division II.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at some of the indexes and stuff going in, like the Pom index or whatever it's called, UConn was arguably one of the best teams in the tournament. Like, if they wouldn't have had that stretch in like I think January where they weren't playing good ball, I don't think they're a 4 seed, because they played.
Well, yeah, they started out like so hot, and they, like you said, like it was like once the beginning of Big East conference play started, they kind of went on a little slump for like a couple weeks, to like maybe a month, and then They started
Yeah.
playing good again.
Yeah, and I think that that's also kind of like where college basketball is, or what it is. It's like you got to be playing your best ball at the right time. You know what I mean? Like we talk about all the time with like some of these Kentucky and Duke teams that start off so hot, and then by the time they get to the tournament, they're just burnt out. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I think UConn obviously peaked at the right time. Shout out to UConn. I thought it was cool seeing like all like Kimbo was there, Ray Allen was there. I thought that was cool. Obviously them being alums of the school and whatnot. So
I have a top 20, early top 25 right now for next year.
yeah, I think UConn's the favorite, right?
UConn's 1, Marquette 2, Duke 3, Kentucky 4. This surprises me. FAU 5. I mean, yeah, they made it to the Final Four, but it's like usually a team like that, they wouldn't have that highly ranked at
Yeah,
5.
I mean, they
Unless
must
they're
be.
expecting them to get literally everyone back, they would not be fucking ranked 5th.
Yeah, that's great. Okay.
Michigan State 6, which shocks me. Unless they have a
No,
nice class coming in. They have a really good class
a
coming in.
really good
Like
class
a really
coming
good
in.
class.
Yeah, and I think
They're
a
only
couple
losing what? Hall and technically the white guy. Hauser.
but no, I think Hall said he's coming back, and they said they were working on Joey. So
Are they allowed to?
yeah, I think he's I think he can come back.
No.
I think unless he has to like petition the NCAA for like his COVID year exemption or something. I'm not sure. But I saw an article that said that Hall and Tyson Walker are coming back, and they're working on getting Joey to return as well. So if they bring all those guys back plus the class they're coming in, they should be really good.
Right. But yeah, then it goes Kansas, Arizona, Houston, Creighton, the top off the top 10.
Where's Michigan at?
They're not in the top 25.
Really?
Why would the fuck would Michigan be in the top
Oh,
20?
just because it's Michigan. You know how people are. That's
It's not
good.
best. It's not football.
They don't deserve to be in there. I agree with that. You saw Hunter Dickinson's transferring,
Which kind of surprises me.
I think that's one of those things where he's gotten worse every year he's been there, and I feel like it's just time for like if he really wants to even be able to play overseas, I think they need a change of scenery, maybe a different voice in his head.
Where is he gonna go?
I don't know. Someone will take him. I mean, he's still a good player. I don't know. If I was him, he needs to go to like a Creighton or a school like that where
nope. I don't want him in the Big East.
Maybe he'll go to FAU.
I like Big East basketball, and I don't want to watch that stupid fuck.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I hate that dude.
Whatever.
I'm serious. No, I honestly, I'm serious. Like he's the one dude, and it's not the Michigan side of it. It's the whole he runs his fucking mouth, and then his team gets their ass fucking whooped. We're in a fucking ski mask to Wisconsin and getting your fucking ass whooped. Let's move on. Let's get to baseball. MLB opening weekend. What are your thoughts on all the rule changes?
I love it. A lot more action. Games are going quicker. I think the getting ready to the shift is awesome. A lot more stolen bases, which you have the numbers on that.
Yeah, what is it? It was last year opening weekend. There was 43 attempts with 29 successful stolen bases. This year, 84 attempts, 70 successful stolen bases.
Yeah, I think teams need to get better. Obviously, I expect that to trail off a little bit and find its level.
Well, I mean, one thing I noticed is, especially with the Sox, there was a lot of times guys would steal and the dude just wouldn't even throw it down.
Well, that's why because in the recent decade, stolen bases have become such like mitigated by like it was basically watching slow pitch softball. Guys were just going station to station. So I think the art of holding runners has been lost on a lot of these guys. And that's something teams are going to have to work on, because a lot of times people always want to blame the catcher. It's as much on the pitcher as it is on a catcher when guys steal bases. I mean, the art of holding runners is huge. And I do think with some of the pitch clock stuff, you're so focused on getting set and get ready to pitch. There's going to be a balance there, whether they extend the pitch clock a little bit or we have to remember it's the first year with all these rule changes. Yeah. There will be tweaks and stuff to make it a little better. But yeah, I mean, the art of holding runners has been lost on some of these guys, and they got to do a better job, because I mean, all those stolen bases are, and you got to remember it seems minimal, but with the bases being bigger, those bang bang plays are not bang bang plays anymore. They're the guy's just safe instead of being out. So I love it. I think we're seeing an increase in offense and balls being put into play, which I think for any casual viewer is more entertaining. It's more exciting. What are your thoughts?
Some of them I like, some of them I don't. I just think so. The one that I really kind of don't like, and I think it's stupid, and the should just play. I honestly, there was two situations that I seen over the weekend. One happened to the Sox. The other happened. Forgot who it happened to. It happened last night. I saw a video of it. But like there's a rule that where in between innings. No, it was with the Sox. It was both Sox with two Sox games. One time happened to the Sox. Last night it happened to the Pirates. So when you have
happened to Manny Machado got called out yesterday too.
We'll talk about that in a second too. I didn't see what happened to him, but we can talk about that because there's a Devers situation that kind of pisses me off too. But so if you're a pitcher and like you're warming up, there's you can't throw a warm-up pitch within 30 seconds of
the clock being
out or whatever. Opening day, there was a Sox dude that was in the middle of his fucking motion. Like, boom, he got set, looked back to second, looked back to home, looked back to second, looked back home, threw the ball. By the time he threw the ball, it was at 27, 28 seconds. But it's like the dude's in the middle of his fucking motion at that 30-second mark. So it's let the dude fucking finish. And the same thing happened last night. Pittsburgh switched pitchers. Dude that was warming up was in the middle of his fucking motion at that 30-second mark. Just because he threw the ball at 28 seconds, the first batter that comes up has a ball already added to him.
Yeah.
I just think that's stupid. I get the thing. You don't want a dude that sits there, grabs a ball at 31 seconds, hurries up, gets on the rubber, and starts his thing just so he can get one more pitch in. But like if the dude's already sitting there starting his shit before 30 seconds, let him fucking throw that last pitch.
Yeah, I think also, and this is something I don't know, but my assumption is that there's not a lot of room for judgment for these umpires where it's like it's hard and fast. And I think they need to change that to where the umpires can use a little bit of their discretion to be like, well, he was, right around the 30-second thing, but he was already in the middle of his delivery, so we'll let that one go.
Yeah.
So I expect there to be changes and tweaks. And so we just got to ride out these tough times. It'll get better. I mean, they already made tweaks after spring training. I expect after like a month, they'll release another memo and be like, this is what we got to change a little bit. Right. But I think overall, I give the rule changes a thumbs up.
I mean, I like them. I mean, honestly, I haven't noticed a difference in time because the Red Sox fucking allow 1 million runs a game. So when you score,
those games are naturally going to be longer.
Yeah, I was going to say when you score 20 runs total in a game, obviously the game's going to be extended, but I mean, it may have turned a 4-hour game into a 3-hour game. I might just not be noticing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like speaking locally here at Tigers, like and granted, when you score no runs and you get shut out, it's gonna be quicker. But their opening day game is like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah,
it's nuts. I'm glad baseball is back. It's been nice to like put it on at night, like the Sunday night game and whatever, just to like have something on.
Dude, it might be something that I start throwing on. Like since I had this MLB TV thing, throw on a nightcap game like as I'm going to bed and have that because I love falling asleep to sports. I love taking golf. I love taking golf naps on the weekend. I take one on Saturday, maybe two on Saturday, and I take one on Sunday.
Yeah,
dude, the 2 on Saturday is nice. It's you get the morning coverage of like the bullshit golfers right beforehand, and you wake up and all of a sudden they're playing a different tournaments on, and you're looking at it. Takes you like there was one time it happened. I took my golf nap. I was watching the PGA. I woke up and it was a complete different tournament, and I was like, "What the fuck happened to the top 10?" I'm like, "Did these dudes just fall off? What is going on?" And then I was like, "Oh, different tournament."
Yeah, that's happened to me as well. Where you fall asleep and you wake up and you're like, I don't remember there being water on this course, and you're
Right?
like who is this guy? And it's like, oh wait, I'm watching like the junior national championship or
Yup,
something.
yup.
And it's like, oh, coverage changed to NBC. Sorry, got to switch over. Happened to me as well. But yeah, no, I for sure throw that on, fall asleep to it. All right, let's get to Masters Week. One of my favorite tournaments in the entire year. I think it's basically the Super Bowl of golf. People that aren't even like golf fans will watch the Masters. They do a great job on that property with how they treat their patrons and their prices. I mean, it's expensive to go, but once you're in, everything's really cheap. Um, that course is just, I mean, if I could play one course ever, it'd probably be that because
Yeah.
it's so exclusive. I mean, I could pay to play St. Andrews, I could play Pebble, but that you just have to be invited. So,
My
I was gonna
CEO is
say,
supposedly going on Thursday.
what'd you say?
My CEO is going on Thursday.
Nice, nice. Did you see the changes they made to 13? They made it longer.
They did.
Yeah, they moved 13 way back. So it used to be for like a guy like Rory driver, and then you'd have like an 8 iron in. Now it's going to be like, depending on the wind, it's going to be like driver 4 iron or 7 wood for some guys, which is going to make that much more difficult. You're going to see some 3s and you're going to see some 7s. So
Right.
that's a lot more entertaining. It's crazy what they can do there because they basically have a nursery that they call it, and they can just add trees like that. They can, if they need to make something longer, they just go over to the nursery, grab fresh sod, throw it down. I was listening to a YouTube video where a guy that used to be like a superintendent there was talking about how one year, right before the guys are teeing off, they do this thing at Augusta with their mowers called a flying V. So it starts like this and goes to the middle, and they have these tennis balls that hang. And basically, what those are for is if you see like one of the mowers start leaking like gasoline or something, you take the tennis ball and you throw it in front of the guy in front of you, so they know to go around it and whatever. Well, they had like a stretch where it was just really bad and the guys are about to tee off. They run to the nursery, they dig all that up, they put the new sod down, and the golfers had zero idea that happened.
Wow.
It's like, that's impressive shit. Because the guys are teeing off on 1, we're on like 4, and like being like, yo, go get the sod, cut that all up. Be like, we've got like maybe 45 minutes before people are gonna be on this hole. We gotta get moving. And they did that, and then they asked the golfers afterwards, they're like, no idea. Couldn't even tell.
Wow.
It's crazy that course has so many undulations and whatnot. I mean, Tiger and Spieth talked about in their interviews where you have 18 flat shots. That's it. And those are your tee shots. Everything else is sloped one way or the other, which makes it just fun viewing experience. I'm excited to hear Jim Nance and Trevor Immelman on the coverage this year. But let's get to it. Every year, the reigning champion gets a chance to do their Masters dinner. They get to pick. I'm going to read right now what Scotty Scheffler's is. Hold on, I have it up here. So basically, for those that don't know, I'm sure they do. If you win the tournament, you're in forever. You're a lifetime member, but you get invited to what's called the Masters dinner, which is going to be interesting this year because there's some live guys that are playing. We'll get to that in a minute. But this year, for Scotty Scheffler's Masters dinner, his 2 appetizers are cheeseburger sliders served Scotty style, firecracker shrimp with sweet Thai chili and sriracha mayo. That sounds great. And then he has a tortilla soup, which is avocado, crispy blue tortilla strips, sour cream, cilantro, and lime. And then for the main course, it is Texas ribeye or blackened redfish with family style mac and cheese, jalapeno cream corn, fried Brussels sprouts, and seasoned fries. And then as his dessert, he's got a warm chocolate chip skillet cookie with milk and cookies ice cream.
Sounds good.
I mean, that
sounds really good.
Me up. So we'll go here. Do you think it's best we go like apps and then we do it that way, or do you want to do your whole?
You do your whole thing and I'll do mine.
All right, you go first.
You go first. I already said
No.
you do your whole. I said you do your whole thing, then I'll do mine. So you do yours.
All right. So I thought a lot about this. I've been asking like everybody this question too, because I think like it's a great bar topic. Like when you're just hanging out with friends, be like, what would yours be? I was out with some buddies on Friday. I never want to hang out with these people again. I asked them and they gave good answers. And I was like, well, I'll give you mine. And they go, what would it be? Chicken tenders and mozzarella sticks and some French fries and chocolate ice cream. And I was like, come on. Like, I know I have like the palate of a 4-year-old, but it's better than that.
Right.
So appetizer I thought was a hard one because like, yeah, when I think of apps, I'm thinking mainly of like bar food appetizers, but I did try to think about it. So I'm going to start off with like a meat and cheese and fruit charcuterie board. So like various types of meat, sausages. You could do like some diced pepperoni, grapes, like various cheeses. I think that would be great. And then the second one, I said wings and quesadillas. I was gonna have mini tacos on there, but I'm not a big taco guy. So I think I do like wings and quesadillas, do
So that's
chicken or
3.
beef. Yeah, like dude, let's have like a combination of some things there, some finger foods. My soup, so you could do soup or salad. Typically a lot of people do salad, but I'm doing homemade chicken noodle soup. Love that. I think it'd be great with a little bit of bread. And then for my main course, I'm doing Wagyu beef fillets. I would personally have done like an Italian seasoned grilled chicken breast, but I think the point of the second meat option is to have like a fish. So I would do salmon because I think that's like probably the nicest fish you can get that I can think of. And then my sides would be mashed potatoes or the option of baked red skin potatoes. And then I would do garlic green beans and corn on the cob with a crescent dinner roll. And then as my dessert, I do cheesecake and an ice cream bar. I think the cheesecake would be great because you could kind of like if you want to do a chocolate drizzle, you can do that. You want to do a cherry drizzle, and then I would do like an ice cream bar. I would personally, if they gave me the option, do like a soft serve ice cream bar. But that might be difficult to do. So if we just had to do a regular ice cream bar, that's probably what I would do. I would want to make it fun, allow people to get like customizable with their options there.
Right. Okay. So let me go over mine.
What do you think? Like, you think that's pretty good, right?
That was all right. I think mine's better, but I think that's all right.
All right.
My appetizers would be chips and salsa and wings.
Okay.
I mean, nice. You get chips. Everyone loves chips and salsa.
Yeah.
And
Would you do the salsa with like a cheese as well, or just salsa?
Yeah, salsa and like queso and all that.
Queso. Okay, yeah, that's a great option.
Yep.
So wings. I've always wondered this.
Breaded wings. Nope, no sauce.
Okay.
Like sidetrack wings.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like if any, yeah, perfect. Yes, fire. You're off to a good start. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten yet.
Then either a house salad or a Caesar salad, whatever you want to choose.
Okay, so have kind of like an option there. Okay.
Yep. And then ribeye steak or a honey garlic glazed salmon.
Yep, perfect.
That salmon I've actually cooked before. Fucking amazing.
Okay.
And then the sides, mashed potatoes, green beans, corn on the cob, and a dinner roll.
So we're very similar with our sides.
Yeah, when you said sides, you literally said side. You said, I was like, that's pretty much mine.
See, I don't like garlic mashed potatoes, so I just want like regular hearty homemade with butter and salt and pepper. Like that's what I would want. But I did put the option for like the baked red skin potatoes.
See,
some people like
thinking about separating, like have one straight for the steak one and have another one straight for the salmon one. I was like, I'll do mashed potatoes for the steak and then garlic red skin potatoes for the salmon. But I was like, I'll put them together.
Some things do go better with one. So that's why I try to give like multiple. And because I was like, Scotty had a shit ton of sides. Like he did like mac and cheese too. Like if they allowed me, I'd throw that in there.
Dude,
as well.
I was looking at shit. I'm like, dude, some of these guys, they go up heavy on sides and there's some they have like 3 desserts.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you have some options because some of them like for the apps, like you said, I've seen some of the appetizers where it's like lobster bisque and then they have a salad after that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of tough, but I just went off with like Scotty's format because I thought it would like give us something. Because if we were like, you can do whatever, we would be talking about our master's dinner for a half hour.
Oh, 100%.
Sorry, go ahead. I forgot you hadn't finished.
My dessert is, I honestly, I stole this from DJ because when I read it, I was like, that sounds fucking amazing.
What'd he do?
Peach cobbler and apple pie with vanilla ice cream.
Yeah. Apple pie and vanilla ice cream's a hard combo to beat.
That's a
Yeah.
I know.
That's a real
And peach cobbler's fucking good, and vanilla anything goes with vanilla ice cream.
That's a good point. I will say I thought it was funny. I listened to an interview with Scotty Scheffler today, and he said he felt a lot of pressure about this, which everyone does for the most part. I'd say out of DJ's probably the only guy that was like, I don't care, and like made his wife, you do whatever. I'm cool. I'm too cool for school with this. But it's a big deal. Like, you want people to like what you pick. So he said him and his wife Meredith just started listing like his favorite things. And they were like, all right, we think we have an idea. And they went to the chef at Augusta and was like, can you fancy this up a little bit? Make this like not just like, cheeseburger sliders you'd get at like, Five Guys or something. He's like, I got you, Scotty. And then he came back with Scotty and was like, how's this sound? And he's like, perfect. I will say some of the ones that have been like the most hated on was like, Sergio did jambalaya. I think Fred Couples famously was like, I'm not eating that. And like they made him his own steak and like sides or whatever. I was like, you're good. You don't have to eat that. That's a really polarizing dish. But I get it. Like a lot of, especially when you come from an area like whether it's in America or internationally,
you want to bring whatever's kind of home to you.
To you. And again, it's your dinner, right? Yeah. So that's why I would have like a combination of stuff I like, but also have enough options where it's like, hey, I want everyone to be able to eat.
My main dish is what I want, and then like the steak. I would probably do a steak. Yeah, I like salmon, but that's the alternative for people that don't want steak, because not everyone's a red meat person. Some people don't eat red meat.
Yep, exactly. And I would say I think Bubba Watson got a lot of hate too, because again, the Masters is paying for it. I think he like it was just kind of like chicken sandwiches, and it was just kind of like, dude, you could have anything on the planet and you went with a chicken sandwich. But yeah, I thought that's a fun exercise. We'll do it again next year to see if our stuff changes at all. But next
year I'm getting that Masters bundle.
We should do that. And then
this year I honestly didn't have the money to do it, because I was going to, because look, I will get it just for myself. I will eat fucking egg sandwiches every morning, fucking Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I will eat pimento cheese sandwiches all day, barbecue fucking
chips.
No, it's Bob. They have the pulled pork, right?
Oh yeah.
Pulled pork sandwiches all day.
Dude, I think it's worth it just to get those Masters cups.
Yeah, I would do it just for that. And the wrapping, I wouldn't even wrap it. Yeah, I'll keep the wrapping.
Yeah. Yeah, we should do that next year. Have like a little watch party. That'd be fun.
Oh, no, watch party. Fuck that. That shit's for me. Watch party, $20 entry fee.
Fine. Sold. I'll bring a pack of beer.
Yeah, $20. Well, me and you are gonna go in on it. I'm talking about everyone else. We'll fucking make money off of it.
Yeah. Oh, I was talking about you and I just having a watch party. I didn't.
Yeah.
We're not buying that for everybody.
That's what I thought you meant.
Nah.
I'm like,
no, they gotta get their own shit.
Like, whoa, no, $20 entry. If we do that, they're fucking paying for that.
It would be cool if we did get like a bunch of people in. We bought like 3 of them, and then we all sat down and watched it on Sunday or something. That'd be cool. But it comes with a ton of food, so
it comes with a shit ton. I mean, it's $100-$200 worth of shit.
yeah. Well, that's true. Who do you like this week? Who do you thinking that who you're gonna be rooting for? I mean, it's hard to say. Scott. I mean, I think Scotty, Rom, and Rory are like tied.
I think Rory's gonna win.
That would be hype. I'd be down for that.
I don't think Scotty's gonna go back to back. Rom's kind of he's been in a little slump lately, but it's also, is this the moment where he brings his season back and all of a sudden he starts playing better golf?
Yeah,
I mean, I like Rory. I've been on Rory all week.
Yeah, I like Rory too. I think a sneaky one that always seems to play well is Tony Finau. He's always seems to play well. I wouldn't mind seeing him either. You think Tiger will make the cut?
No.
It's going to be cold. Yeah, I don't
Tiger's
think so
not
either.
making the cut. I think, honestly, one that I think is going to make that people aren't talking about that I think is going to play good is Brooks.
Yeah, he's one.
Supposedly he's playing good and he's healthy.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens if a live guy wins the Masters. That's going to be crazy. I will say, so I listened to Cam Smith's interview and they asked him straight up, are you going to be wearing like apparel with your logos on it? And he goes, yes. And he goes, are you contractually obligated? And he goes, pretty much, yeah. Then he followed up with, but it's a privilege to be here. And if it's gonna ruffle any feathers with the guys at Augusta National, I brought a separate pair, like separate outfits without the logos, because I value being here more than I value that.
Yeah.
So he says, I haven't heard one way or another. He goes, I've got options for both. He goes, it's a privilege to be here, and it's not worth it enough to me to be like, he goes, I'm not, basically, he didn't say this, but he basically said, I'm not trying to give a middle finger to anybody at Augusta National. So
It's probably gonna be one of those things to where I can see Augusta National waiting until like practice rounds go by and seeing what he's wearing and seeing what people are
how
saying.
loud is it? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like if it starts being more of a Cameron Smith, right? I
Yeah.
get the fucker. I get him and Cameron Young for some reason mixed
Yeah,
up all the
it's all
time.
good. Yeah, Smith's the
Cameron.
guy that went to live. Yep.
Yes, yep. So Cameron Smith, it could be one of those if it's all about him and not on the Masters. I can see them be like, "Hey, take that shit off before next round."
Yeah, I think it's one of those things too where, well, I thought it was funny too because they asked him to. There were some rumblings that if a live guy wins it, all the live players that are in the field are going to be waiting for him on the 18th green. And they asked Cam Smith about that. He goes, if that's a thing, he goes, I wasn't in that group text. And I was listening to a podcast today that was like, Augusta, like if half these guys miss the cut, Augusta's going to be like, you're done. You can't hang around here. You're done. Like you're gonna go buy a patron's pass and hang out in the gallery. You don't get any special privileges. Especially if you're not like a past winner. It's gonna be like your time's up, buddy. You don't get to just go on.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you don't get to just walk up to the green. Yeah, so I have a couple dark horses. And one of them may not really be a dark horse, but Will Zalatoris always seems to play well in majors. If he can get his putting figured out, I do think he's got the length and the ability to play well this week. And then another one's Ricky Fowler. I think Ricky Fowler's playing his best golf he's had or he's played in years. I could see him being a top 10 finish this week for sure. And then obviously I'll be rooting for Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas. I mean, it's hard. I love those two guys. Spieth's game is in really good shape. And obviously he won here in 2015. I also would expect with the weather that they're expecting there. I think DJ's 20 under is the highest or the lowest scoring.
That's also, there's an asterisk there because that was also played in the fall.
Right. But everything I've been reading, expect really low scores this week because they're not going to be able to turn the greens up like they want to because they're getting a ton of weather and it's going to rain. They're going to be soft. And when they're soft and these guys are that good, they're going to be sticking it close.
But I mean, that's what happened with DJ. I mean, it was just, you're playing in the fall versus the spring. The ground's completely different. Yeah. And it was just one of those things where he's played amazing. I mean, I'm not knocking on his thing. I'm just saying, like, his year compared to most at the Masters, it's just a lot lower of a score. But we have to look at.
No, they played that in February, I think. No, was it September?
It was November.
Oh, that's right, November. That's right.
It was COVID, or like it was like October, November when they played it.
You're right. I will say too, that like the thing that protects this golf course obviously is the greens, and it's always more fun when they're firm and fast. And like I know Spieth even said that. He goes, I prefer when they're firm and fast. He goes, that's the way the golf course is meant to be played. He goes, especially he's like, for someone like me where I can hit a lot of different shots with trajectory, like I can use that to my advantage, where for some people it makes it more difficult. So I hope it's Augusta National. It's gonna be in great condition no matter what. So I'm looking forward to watching that. I'll be locked in Thursday through Sunday on that shit for sure.
Yeah.
And they do such a good job with access to coverage. You can just go to the Masters website. You don't got to pay $1 and you can watch.
Right.
Like Eamon's Corner and whatever, like before it's on the Golf Channel. That I love that because they could charge $5.99 or whatever it is and everyone would still pay it. But they're like, no, we just want people to be able to watch. It's so cool to me.
I mean, it drives traffic to their website.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say I watched last Sunday. It was the drive, chip, and putt finales. And they're just kids, so I got to be careful here. I was watching the putt. And so basically you have two putts. Everyone has the same two putts. And then you combine what distance you have left. And whoever has the shortest distance between those two putts left wins. This girl, 7 years old, right? hits a great first putt. She was like one of the last to go in a group. So you've watched everyone else already hit this second putt. And they were like, all she's got to do is keep it within, it's like a 4.5-foot putt. They're like, all she's got to do is keep it within 4 feet and she wins. She hit this ball so hard. It went, and then she starts crying, and I feel bad for laughing, but she ran over her dad, and her dad's just like, why did you hit it so hard? Like, she almost hit it off the green. It's like, you just watched 6 other people hit this putt. And I was the guy on the couch. It's like, I could have done better than that as I sit there, drinking a Miller Lite, with my putter in my hand. But like, that was cool to watch. I did think it was like, I felt bad because I was like, she's 7 years old. Anybody would be nervous in that spot. But dude, she hit the putt so hard. I was like, bruh, it's a 4-footer. Just tap it. Like, and you win.
Right.
I felt bad because I know like there's so much qualifying to get there, but that was and then my dad came in and was like, what are you laughing at? So we're sitting here watching like the 15-year-old boys do it. And like another guy did the same thing on his first putt, hit it way too soft, and he had like 12 feet left. On the next one, he got nervous and just hit it like 6 feet past, and we're just laughing at these kids. And I was like, we're going to hell. Like, this isn't great for us to be taking pleasure in these kids' struggles and stuff. But I think that's such a cool event they do there at Augusta, and seeing Scotty walking around with his green jacket on. So I'm really looking forward to the tournament this year, obviously.
Yeah, me too.
Well, that's I got nothing else.
Neither do I. That's the show, folks.
All right, we love you guys. Thanks.
Love you guys.
See ya. See ya.